guys, it's me, Zellen. So, for the record, I know people might comment, the reason why I'm not wearing glasses right now is because the glare was really, really bad and distracting me. So if I'm doing like a lot of this kind of stuff, it's because I'm trying to read the time, and please just ignore any weird facial anxiety. Sorry. I just wanted to be a brat. Anyway, the purpose of this video here is to talk about to eat meat or not to eat meat. What is morally correct for pagans and Wiccans. Yeah, because I've seen a lot of videos here talking about how they're, I want to say justifying vegetarianism through paganism. Not the right word, but similar word. There's a lot of videos about, pagans who are vegetarians and how it connects to paganism. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that a little bit. First off, for the record, we're gonna lay some stuff down here. I am not a vegetarian. Okay? Ooh, big shot. Scared. Second off, I am not anti-vegetarian. I have lots of vegetarian family and friends, including vegans. I love vegetarian people. They make some of the coolest, most delicious food. Some of my favorite recipes are vegetarian recipes. If you've never had cheesy kale chips, you haven't lived until you've had cheesy kale chips. They're amazing. Sorry. So, I'm not anti-vegetarian, but I am not personally a vegetarian. I know it's a huge conundrum. I am also pro-animal rights. And I do try my damnedest in my life to follow the Wiccan read, which is harm none, do what you will. Just because, even though I'm not technically a Wiccan, it's something that really calls to me. So that's why I follow it. That piece of hair keeps going in my eyeball! Okay, anyway. Sorry. So, with those things laid out, let me explain at least my view. If you haven't seen any of the videos with regards to why some people are vegetarian and all this, and how they relate it to the read, basically, a lot of people are saying that because it says harm none, that includes animals, and so you can't eat an animal. And I agree with that. But, how far does the harm none go? That's the only problem that I have with the read, is how far does harm none go? Because if harm none, do what you will, goes to animals, does it not also go to plants? When you uproot a carrot, you are harming it. When you chop said carrot, you are harming it. Just because you pulled it out of the ground doesn't mean it's dead. It is still growing. It's still alive. When you chop it up into little bits and throw it into the pot of boiling water, you just murdered the carrot. Right? I know a lot of people would agree with me that when we are taking herbs and taking taking wood from trees and all that kind of stuff, that we need to ask permission of the plant. Correct? It's the same with fruits and vegetables. And if you go to, technically speaking, if you go to the grocery store and just buy apples, it's like buying, murdered baby trees, that had no say in whether or not they were going to be cut from their parents before their time and given to you as food. Right? Right? Yeah. And I know a lot of people, when it comes to about meat, they're like, oh, well, these animals are raised on farms and they're given all these drugs and it's horrible conditions. and then they're cut up, wrapped in plastic, and put on a shelf. It's the same sort of thing with plants. I've worked on orchards. The plants live in these little lines, and they've got their little sections. They are force-fed water, they are force-fed nutrients. They are, when they're young, they are chained up or tied up to twigs or to stakes and stuff. And every year they are forced to produce young, and those young are ripped off, taken to feed you. There is no respect for the plant. I hope you see this point. Unfortunately, that is the way that the farm and the agricultural system works. Now, I personally do know quite a few farmers, both, I know a dairy farmer, I know a couple of orchardists, and I know a beef farmer, that for big cows. They, despite these regulations, do care about their plants and their animals. Despite the fact that there are thousands of individual cows in the beef herd, each cow is taken care of. Each cow is ensured food and water and enough space to live. And each individual cow, if they have an infection, if they are ill, are instantly taken away from the herd and treated by veterinarians. And the little black guy, Alistair, his vet is actually the local, is also the local livestock vet. And the vet that takes care of my cat, also goes around to all of the local farms here in the Langley Abbotsford area and takes care of the cows and the horses and sheep and pigs and all the other animals around here. And I know for a fact that these animals are very well taken care of. Unfortunately, our slaughter process is sort of a slaughter mill type process, but that is because of the sheer amount of population. I don't justify the system. Personally, I think if we were going to do it right, we should all be doing some sort of living more of a homestead type lifestyle, and be far more self-sufficient than we are. Unfortunately, 90% of our populations live in large cities, do not farm, and are not self-sufficient. And the way to feed those people is the grocery store system. I don't think it's right either way. I don't think that the way things run on orchards and on farms are correct for the spirits of those beings, whether it be tree, animal, fish, bird, whatever. But it's the best that we can do at this point. Until we can grow food in a lab that has no soul, that won't actually sustain our bodies, there's nothing really that we can do. So I think it's a broken system. I understand a lot of people that don't eat meat because of the system. But I don't think it's wrong to not eat meat at all. But I don't think it's not wrong to eat meat. With regards to paganism and the reason why I personally eat meat and why my family eats meat, I let my son eat meat and such, is not only because I like meat, I like the way it tastes, I like to cook it, all that stuff, but it's also my personal view of things. Personally, if I was able to live the natural lifestyle that I wish to live, which is the homesteading, raising your own food thing, I would have no problem raising a small herd of cattle, or sheep, or pigs, And I would have no problem taking one of those animals aside. I'm sorry, my screensaver came on. I would have no problem taking one of those animals aside, thanking it for its life, and ending its life. I have no problem going fishing, pulling the salmon out of the water, and cracking it over the top of the head. I always, even with the food that I buy in the grocery store, say a prayers over my food, and thank it for its sacrifice. Even though, I might just be getting a package of 24 chicken legs that are all wrapped in plastic, I still thank those chickens for giving me energy and feeding my family. Just as when I would go to slaughter an animal for my family, I would say the same thing. Or, all in all, like, when I've gone hunting, it's been, if you're going to let me use you to feed my family. I believe in 100% use. Here in Canada, what isn't used for domestic food is either used for animal feed or it's used as fertilizer. Pretty much the only thing that doesn't get used is the claws. There isn't much on, and I'm talking about chicken in that situation, but there isn't much that isn't used up here. I don't know about policies in the States. I know up here, you're not allowed to give growth hormone to cows. It doesn't happen. You're not allowed. It's against the law up here. And so our beef tastes very different. Stuff like that. So, all in all, I think that if you're going to, as a summary, being vegetarian isn't wrong. Being a meat eater isn't wrong. But if you are going to make the choice to eat meat, you need to be able to look a cow in the face and say, hello, dinner. Just as I believe you should be able to look at a tree and go, I will eat your fruit. You need to be able to do that. And I know, this comparison might upset some people, but that's how I view it. I personally, I think all in all, pagan or not, I know quite a few people that, won't eat a chicken wing because it has bones, or won't eat ribs because of bones, and things like that because it reminds them of the animal. People like that have an issue with the fact that it was an animal, the fact that it was alive, and are still eating it, I don't believe that they should be eating meat. But if you're able to look at the meat you eat as an animal that, breathed the same air as you and enjoyed life, even if it was only for a couple of years, then I think it's okay for you to eat meat. So I hope that this was concise, and I hope that this made sense for everyone. Please comment, video response, all those things. Let me know what your opinions are. And all in all, I hope this gave you something to think about. Blessings, and I love you all. Bye.